Okay, the first example is going to be number 8 from 10.2. Number 8 says x squared over 81 plus y squared over 144 equals 1. Well, this is the larger of the two numbers, so I know that this is a squared, so a is 12 and b is 9. There are no modifiers for the x and the y, so that tells me that the center of this graph is at 0, 0. And the last thing I need to figure out is what a squared minus b squared is, because that'll tell me what c is. So that's 144 minus 81. And so c is equal to the square root of 63, which can be simplified as 3 square roots of 7. Now my graph this time, since it's centered around 0, 0, is pretty easy to draw. The last time I tried to do this, though, I was making my units too small. I'm going to call this 6, this negative 6, this is 6, and that's 12. And this would be negative 6 and negative 12. Now this is horizontal. I'm vertically oriented because the larger number, the a, is underneath a squared, is underneath the y squared. So I'm going to count up 12 and down 12. That'll tell me where my major vertices are. In this case, it's at 0, 12, and 0, negative 12. And then I'm going to go to the left and right 9. So this is my minor vertex of 9, 0, and this one is at negative 9, 0. And I like to draw a box around it because it's easier to get the characteristic shape of the ellipse if I have some target as to how it's supposed to look. So I know it's supposed to go around these corners like that. And I'd say 3 out of the 4 of those look pretty good. And now my c value is plus or minus 3 root 7, so I'm going to go up. It's just a little less than 8, so this would be 9. So 8 would be about right there, so I'm going to say it's about right there for one of the foci, and the other one is about right there. And so my foci's location is the center plus or minus that attached to the y. So the center was at 0, 0, so it's going to be 0, negative 3 root 7, and 0, 3 root 7. Those are my foci. Okay, and that's number 8. And now let's look at number 12 real quick. Number 12 says x minus 4 quantity squared over 12 plus y plus 3 quantity squared over 16 equals 1. Once again, this is vertically oriented because it's the larger number is underneath the y term squared. So in this case, a is 4. In this case, b is the square root of 12, which is 2 root 3, I believe. And c, remember c squared is equal to a squared minus b squared. So c squared is 4, so c is 2. When I go to draw this one, the center this time is at 4, negative 3. Which is in the 4th quadrant, so I'm going to want to favor that when I set up my axes so that I have plenty of room in the 4th quadrant to maneuver and draw my function. All of these values are fairly small. I should be able to get away with a 1-to-1 graph on this. That's 6, not 3. This would be 3. This is negative 3, negative 3, negative 6. So my center is at 4, negative 3, which is right there. My major axis is 4 units long and it's up and down, so that makes the first vertex, major vertex, is right there at 4, 1. And my other major vertex is right here at 4, negative 7. Now you should notice that that's 4 points above and below 4, -3, which is the center. Now, square root of 12 is somewhere around 3.5. So that means I've got to move to the right and the left 3.5 units, which makes my box kind of like right there and right there. So now I can draw my ellipse. Some people are much better at this than I am. Well, that doesn't look too bad. And now C is 2 units, so it's just going to go up 2 units, which makes one of my foci is at 4, -1, which is 2 units above the center. And the other focus is at 4, -5, because that's 2 units below the center. And now I need to write the coordinates of these 2 minor vertices. So they're going to be 4 minus 2√3, -3. And this one would be at 4 plus 2√3, -3. And so there's number 12.